Hello again, everyone. 2020 is over and the 2020 tax season is upon us already. It feels like we never ended tax season last year, but here we are. So I want to go over a few things with you guys this year because some things are going to be different. But first I wanted to start off by just saying thank you to you guys. You have been so supportive of us the last year. And my staff and I have been truly blessed to have so many wonderful clients and friends, and I just can't start this year without thanking you for last year. It's been a tough year for all of us. It's been tough here. I know it's been tough for a lot of you out there. And you know, when this first started, I said, you know, we're all in this together, and we truly have been, and it has been a blessing in many, many ways. Once we realized what was going on, my staff and I, we had to change everything about how we were doing stuff. And I have to thank them too. My staff has really stepped up this year in a very challenging situation through working remote, through we had to become loan officers. We've had to help with unemployment and whatever was asked or needed by their clients. They've just stepped up and got it done, and they've been truly amazing. They've been a blessing to you guys, I believe, and they've truly been a blessing to me. And I want to thank them because, I mean, they're where it's at. They're the ones that get it all done. So I just have to say thank you to them. What they did was just truly incredible. And I also want to thank you guys out there for your patience. We've tried to stay ahead of rapidly changing laws and regulations, and as soon as I thought I knew what was going on, they changed them again, and we've really worked hard to stay ahead of that. Hopefully it's been beneficial. Hopefully we've done a good job. I know we've tried, but it's been it's been a different deal, and I just want to thank you for your patience and your support. I just can't tell you how many times I go somewhere and I've been thanked. And unfortunately, my staff hasn't got that as much because it's come to me. But it really has been helpful to me to keep doing it because I can tell that it's helping you guys. So I just want to thank you for that. COVID changed a lot of things this last year, and things are still changing. As I speak, stuff is still changing. So as we enter the 2020 season, I want to go over a few things. It's important that you pay attention to this so that we're all on the same page. Number one, as long as we feel it is safe, we are going to continue to allow drop-off and pick-up at the Lease Summit office. I know for many of you, electronics is not your thing, and that's okay. That's okay. Drop-off and pick-up is still going to be allowed at the Lease Summit office. I just ask that if you have any symptoms of anything, please do not come in. And we will require a mask to do that. So please be respectful of that. And that is much appreciated. Number two, with everything that has happened, there's just no way for us to support the Raytown office in this time. COVID's kind of killed that for us. So for this year, please bring your documents to the Lease Summit office. Now, there are other options. So one, you can submit through the portal, and later on this week, I will be sending out the full-blown organizer that will also allow you to sign into the portal, and you can upload documents. There is another video on how to use that, and I'll resend a link with that email later in the week for those who like to use that. We've had quite a few. It works really, really well. And if you haven't tried the portal, I recommend going there, even if it's just for getting copies of your tax returns. They're there, they're convenient, they're easy to use, and so take advantage of that. You can also use USPS. You can submit through the mail. The mail has been slow lately, so be aware of that. It may get right through, and it may not. So, but you can use the mail. You can also submit via email. Although if you're going to do email, I ask that you would try to encrypt it. Put a password on it. Maybe use a password that you'll have to let us know what that password is, like potentially your social security number or something like that only we would know. So I would recommend passwords. You can fax it, although this is probably my least favorite option because sometimes faxes come through dirty, but you can fax your documents in. We just may have to call and verify some of the numbers. So if that's the only way you can, we can work that way. I would prefer one of the others. And of course, we have a drop box right outside the door. And especially if you have any health concerns, this may be the best way for you if you are not into electronic documents. There is a box right beside the door. You can drop it off there. We're checking it regularly. And that is also a way for you to provide the documents. Next, I want to talk about appointments. For the foreseeable future, we are not going to have in-office appointments. I know for some of you that's a big deal. I apologize, but you know, I have a responsibility to you. I have a responsibility to my staff, and in the current circumstances, I know it's not ideal, but I just don't see where we can make any other decision right now that is any better way to go. So if the situation clears up later in the season, we may make adjustments, but for now, we are not going to do in office. I just feel it's the right decision. Alternatives though. So for many of you, we do still need to have an appointment. A lot of you have been dropping off for years. It really works great. Things are the same from year to year. And if you were paying attention to this video and go through what we're going to do here at the end of it, you probably don't even need a phone call because we'll cover most of it. And if we have any questions, we'll call you. But for some of you, there's things going on and we do need to. And for those, we have alternatives. We can do a Zoom call. A lot of you have done Zoom all year. It works really well. We can share screens. We can ask questions. We can see each other eye to eye. And that really is helpful. If you are technology averse, hey, phone calls work great. Drop off your documents. We can put the return together and then call, go over any questions, any concerns, explain the results. Telephones work great, have for years and still do. And so that is still a viable alternative. And we can set up appointments to do either one of those. And I think you're going to find for most of you that's going to take care of this for you and keep everybody safe and healthy. Because if we end up getting exposed here in the office and have to quarantine, then we can't take care of anybody. And so it's just what we're going to have to do. I don't like it, but it's the right decision for now. Organizers. So many of you over the years have either never used our organizer or have not liked the full organizer because a lot of paper. And why do you want to fill all this out if you're bringing it into us? And I totally agree. Really, the purpose of the organizer was never for you to fill it out. The purpose of the organizer is just to help you be organized, to get the right documents to us so that A, you know you're ready, you've got everything collected, and B, when we do it, we are making sure that it is completed efficiently and nothing has been missed. That is the purpose of the organizer. It is not for you to fill it out. Now, some of you have more complex situations, and it actually is very helpful for that, and that's great. And the email that we will send out later in this week will have the full organizer available for you to use, as always has been. And if you don't do online, that's fine. Just let us know. And we can send you out a paper copy or print one off for you to pick up. And that's not a problem either. Just contact front desk front desk at PagetKC.com, front desk at PagetKC.com. Send her an email. She can then provide you a printed organizer, complete organizer, and that'll take care of that. So, as I was saying, a lot of you did not like using the full organizer. So what we're doing this year is we're switching to what we call an organizer checklist, and that's attached to the email that you just received. That organizer checklist is just that. Instead of being all the stuff, what it's going to do is it's going to show you what you had last year so that you can just tick off that you got everything before you bring it in, or you can just write beside it, didn't work there this year. So that we know as we're preparing your return to knock it out. So here in a minute, I'm going to switch over to screen. We'll go through the email that you're about to receive, or you actually just did receive, and step by step how to put stuff together this year, because a lot has changed. And with the COVID and with the economic stimulus payments, there's a lot more on the return we're going to have to do this year to make sure that you've gotten what you're supposed to. And it's just going to be a more challenging tax year. So at this point, let's go ahead and switch over to that. Okay, so you should have received an email that looks like this. It'll be coming from Paget Casey Front Desk. And actually, from a lot of you, it actually may be coming from me. And the email will appear like this. You're going to get two emails. One is called the organizer, and one is the organizer action. You'll need to look at both of these. You can print them out, and they will be your guide to preparing your documents to bring them in or submit them electronically for this tax year. If you go through this, it really won't take very long. 5-10 minutes as you're putting everything together. You can go through this, and it should answer just about all the questions that we would have, and or at least give us the triggers to know that there's more questions we should ask. So this stuff is critical. I know it seems like busy work, but in lieu of appointments, this is really necessary, and it really doesn't take very long. As a general rule, the questions on the questionnaire are all designed to be answered the same way, so that if they are all, well, let's just go through them one at a time. Okay, so now that you've opened both of these PDFs, here is what it will look like. You will receive a cover letter that just kind of gives you some high-level stuff. No, that's not my social, and no, I was not born in 2000. I think the gray hair gives that away. But that's the cover letter. There's 10 pages here, and here is the questionnaire. And so what you'll see real quick is, did your marital status change during the year? Yes or no. Did your address change? Yes or no. Can you be claimed as a dependent by another? Yes or no. So you can quickly see that all the questions are really designed to be, for the most part, no. And yeses are triggers to me that we need to potentially ask some more questions to make sure everything is correct. So on top of the normal stuff here, there's also a lot of stuff related to COVID this year, and it is going to affect the tax return. So really take the time to go through this, because, for instance, if you didn't get the economic income payment, then I can pick it up for you on the tax return. Or if you did not get the full amount, I'm going to need to know how much you did get, and you may qualify for more. So don't disregard this stuff. It is incredibly, incredibly important, especially this year, that you quickly go through this. There's 3.5 pages, but like I said, they're all designed to be no. So once you get a rhythm, you can go through this really, really fast and answer all the questions. So we'll go through this. It'll let me know if we need to go into more depth on anything, and make sure that, I mean, the real purpose here is to make sure that you're not paying any more taxes than you're supposed to, and that you're getting every credit that you possibly can, because that's my goal, is to save you as much money as possible, legally, of course. So that'll take you through that. That's the big one, and that's the one that I really, really need. Next is some due diligence stuff that we need for earned income credit. So if you qualify for earned income credit, or think you're close, make sure you answer these. So they have to have something showing that they are your children, and this will take care of that for me, and that you're eligible to use them. If you have kids in college, or if you yourself are in college, answer this stuff on the American Opportunity Tax Credit. Once again, these can be very, very helpful on your tax return. It can save you a lot of money. And head of household status. Really quick, won't take but just a minute. And now we're down to the organizer checklist that I was telling you about. And so what this is going to show is the information that we have related to you, your address, your phone number, your the children that we're claiming this year, email address, where your direct deposit is going to go, etc. But then when you get down here, this is going to be very, very helpful to make sure you didn't miss anything. So for instance, W-2s, you can see right here, I worked for DSB Services last year. And you can see I had a 1099 dividend from Edward Jones. If you had a rental property, it would list the rental property and the list of expenses that were used for the rental property. If you got a K1 from a business you were involved in, there would be that. So what you can do is quickly go through this organizer checklist. And it's not that you need to fill anything out. It's just to remind you, here's everything I had last year. I've got it this year. I can go ahead and submit my stuff because we're now ready to go. Did you have a mortgage interest on your house? Did you have charitable contributions? It's just a basic, simple list to tick off everything from last year so that you know, hey, when I've got all this ticked off, I'm good. Let's get this submitted. Let's get this knocked out. And that's really all there is to the checklist. So it's really, really simple. Once again, did I have it last year? Do I have it this year? And then down at the bottom, if there's anything else you think I should know, just write it in. You know, I got married. We had a new baby this year. We've moved. Little notes like that, you can put them there, and that will make sure that we're not missing any pertinent information. The second one you will receive will be the engagement letter. The engagement letter is shorter this year. There's still quite a bit. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in nowadays. But all you got to do is print it out and sign it at the bottom and bring that in with all your stuff. There's 3 places that need signed here. Sign those. You sign there. We sign here. And we sign here. Bring all that in. That's going to greatly expedite your tax return. It's going to make sure that we're not missing anything we should know, and it will allow us to be much, much more efficient. So there you go. Not too complicated, pretty straightforward, pretty easy. It'll make sure everything goes well. Looking forward to a good tax season. Looking forward to hopefully a good 2021, and we're just happy to be here still to take care of you. So we'll talk to you guys later.